Right now on NBC26 at 10. Severe weather outbreak from reported tornadoes to flooding.
When you hear a siren, you usually take shelter right away because it's not a big game to play around with.
In Green Bay, police urging drivers to stay off the roads covered by water. Even Lambeau Field couldn't escape the water, with unbelievable pictures from the tunnel. One of our NBC26 reporters even taking cover during an active tornado warning.
I knew something was up as soon as one of the big trees went down over the power lines.
As a state of emergency is declared for some counties, and the cleanup just begins.
Thank you for being with us. We continue following a storm alert tonight. Our team has been tracking severe weather throughout the entire day, and we have team coverage tonight throughout our area. Let's start now with Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland. Cameron, you were on air for hours until the threat passed, so what's happening now?
Well, Cassandra, the threat for severe weather has come to an end, but we're still looking at flash flood warnings for the rest of tonight for Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, Green Lake, and Marquette counties. North of those areas, the flood watches and flood advisories have expired or have been canceled. As you take a look at Storm Shield radar, you can see we've got a large area of light to moderate rain now moving across east central Wisconsin. There are some pockets of heavier rain mixed in as well, and that could aggravate the flooding that we've already been seeing. Many spots could pick up another ½ inch to an inch of rain by the time we get to the early morning hours on top of what we've already seen today. And that's a lot of rain, anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to almost 10 inches of rain across parts of the viewing area over the last 24 to 36 hours. So we have flash flood warnings up for Fond du Lac, Green Lake, Marquette, and Sheboygan counties where flooding continues. Many roads are closed and impassable. Water is still rising in some places, and the #1 rule with flash flooding is turn around, don't drown. Now, earlier today, it wasn't the flooding that was the main issue. It was severe weather, and we have numerous reports of wind damage and tornadoes across the southern part of the viewing area. I'll go into greater detail about this event coming up in just a few minutes. Cassandra?
Thank you, Cameron. Well, Governor Scott Walker has declared a state of emergency for 6 counties, including Fond du Lac County, after severe storms and that flash flooding. The governor's office says over the past 10 days, the state has seen torrential rains and flooding, with homes and businesses destroyed or damaged. And leaders with the city of Waupun saying they have significant damage there. So much so, they've declared a state of emergency and put a curfew into effect. According to a news release, the curfew went into effect at 10 o'clock just a few minutes ago and continues until 6 tomorrow morning. People living there should stay off the roads, and there will be no entry into the city unless there is proof of residency. Now, if you're a shift worker, you need an employee ID. If you can't stay in your home, there is a shelter set up at Brandon Elementary School. Now, for more information about this event, just go to our website at NBC26.com. Well, tonight we are getting a look at the damage from this storm system. NBC26's Eric Kress continues our team coverage. Eric, there's some impressive video tonight out of Lamira.
Cassandra, out in Lamira and Oakfield, they got hit just as hard as anyone did in our viewing area by this evening's severe thunderstorms that rolled through. Now, this video says it best, though. In Lamira, an electricity pole snapped in half under the weight of the wind and sent trees smashing into property. And out in Oakfield, 100-plus-year-old trees were toppled. A barn's exterior was pulled from the base of the building, and tree after tree littered the yards of folks who made it through the storm, with property damage, but no personal injuries.
I knew something was up as soon as one of the big trees went down over the power lines.
One full-grown tree down, another one that's pretty much all the way down, bunch of broken branches off of others. We have some damage to our barn. One of our hay barn doors was completely ripped off and thrown about 50 yards from the barn.
So what was it like when what was it that hit Lamira and Oakfield? Well, it's too early to tell. But we do know tonight that whatever came through had the potential of having hurricane-force winds, and it could have possibly even been a tornado, something folks in Oakfield have seen before back in '96 when an F5 rolled through town.
And Eric, covering the weather today, you had quite the experience. Tell us what happened.
Well, when the tornado warning sounded in Fond du Lac, myself and probably another 40 people at the Fond du Lac Public Library, we were all forced into the basement for about 45 minutes. It was the safest place we could be. And when that warning was lifted, I headed straight to Oakfield, saw much of the damage that you just saw in that video along the way.
All right, Eric, so glad that you are safe tonight. Thank you. An 11-year-old boy is rescued from the floodwaters tonight. The Harrison Fire Department says he got trapped for 45 minutes in a storm sewer. It's a story that could have had a tragic ending. NBC26's Ryan Curry joins us live tonight in the village of Harrison to show us what happened. Ryan?
All right, good evening, Cassandra. This is the manhole where fire crews saw the 11-year-old boy's finger sticking out of the ground. They pulled him out and brought him to safety, ending a frantic search that took nearly an hour. And this dirt road here, after he was rescued, was covered in about 3 feet of water. Now, the fire chief said to me earlier that the boy and his 2 friends went to check out the floodwater in a drainage ditch. The boy grabbed goggles to look underwater and was then swept into a storm drain. The friends called 911 and rescue crews scored everywhere, looked for every position possible to find the missing 11-year-old boy.
We were searching ditches, walking every waterway, anything where there was water. We were trying to figure out where that culvert that he went into, where that came out.
And as the water started receding, crews finally saw the boy's finger sticking out of this manhole cover about 30 feet from the culvert where he was last seen. Emergency workers pulled him out, took him to the hospital, and Mickelson says the boy was smiling and in good spirits. And while the boy is okay, Mickelson wants to remind everybody not to go near storm drains during or after a storm, because those storm drains could be very dangerous and even deadly. And make sure to tell your kids that too. Reporting here in Harrison, Ryan Curry, NBC26.
All right, thank you, Ryan. In Green Bay, police asked everyone to stay off the roads this afternoon as everything was flooding quickly. NBC26's Max Grossfeld joins us now at Lambeau Field. Max, what are you seeing tonight?
Cassandra, I'm on the corner of Lombardi and Oneida, where the roads look wet but passable right now. Just a few hours ago, however, roads quickly became unsafe after a string of severe thunderstorms moved through the area. A Green Bay Public Works spokesperson says high river levels and the rapid rainfall combined to quickly fill roadways with water. He says there wasn't much the city could do except wait for the water to recede. Some people we spoke with this evening said this was some of the worst flooding they've ever seen in Green Bay. Meanwhile, some people weren't even able to get back to town as several flights coming into Austin Straubel were canceled or delayed.
Well, that was a huge pain, as you can imagine. The entire airline was kind of a mess, and a lot of people were inconvenienced, myself included.
You know, I can compare it to the April snow that we had, the 24 inches. I can't remember this much rain in a short period of time.
All over the city, cars stalled out on the roadway. Remember, if you do come to a flooded road, remember what Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland always says: turn around, don't drown. Keeping you connected live in Green Bay, Max Grossfeld, NBC26.
Thank you, Max. Now, from these storms, we are getting some great photos from our NBC26 viewers. Take a look at these pictures here. This one Amber sent in from Harrison. She says her area was underwater. And then there is this picture from Green Bay, cars in the water near Main Street. Viewers telling us they saw many streets in their neighborhoods that were completely impassable today. Now, if you have pictures that you would like to share, just post them to our NBC26 Facebook page. And some of the photos that we saw today were from Lambeau Field as crews worked to clear standing water there. NBC26's Kelly Price continues our team coverage at Lambeau Field. Kelly?
Thanks, Cassandra. Lambeau Field officials tell us that they're prepared for these kinds of situations in all kinds of weather, whether it's the flooded tundra or the frozen tundra. The pictures you're about to see, I took earlier. They show a much different scene than when the Green Bay Packers run out of this tunnel. You're looking at some of the initial flooding here at Lambeau Field this afternoon, reaching towards the yard line markers on the actual turf. That water was standing almost a foot tall behind the metal barrier. The rainwater has now been cleared in the Lambeau Field tunnel, but as you can see, still raining here in Titletown. Keeping you connected live in Green Bay, I'm Kelly Price for NBC26.
Incredible pictures. Thank you, Kelly. The Sheboygan County Sheriff's Office asking people to avoid driving tonight unless it is absolutely necessary while their crews clear roadways. They say trees and power lines are down across the roads in much of that county, with the western half being hit the worst. And for more information about severe weather and to stay up to date with the latest forecast, you can download the Storm Shield app and visit our website at NBC26.com. Well, still to come here at 10, they say if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. Tonight, a bait shop owner who is living that dream as we go exploring small towns in northeast Wisconsin.
You are connected to NBC26 News at 10 with Cassandra Duvall, John Erickson, Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland, and Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis. NBC26 News at 10, keeping you